Hi folks, it's Richard from Inclusive Driving. I've been asked if I can do a video on reverse bay parking, and I certainly can. You'll probably find that the way I teach it is different to what most other driving instructors will do. You'll find most instructors will give you a reference point, so they'll get you to choose some point on the left or the right door. That could be the mirror, it could be the door handle, and line it up with a certain white line, and then turn the steering wheel a certain way, and magic kind of happens and you end up in a parking bay. I'm not a fan of that method. I much prefer to teach you how most drivers actually do it in the real world, and I'd say if you asked a driving instructor to actually reverse park themselves, they wouldn't do it the way they teach it. So I just want to explain how I do it. So here we go. So imagine I'm driving into the car park and I'm going to choose a parking bay on the left. Now I've got some cameras set up on the mirrors, so at each point let's just have a look at what information we can get, what visual information we can get from where. So I'm going to come to a stop. Now what information do we get from the left mirror at this point? Not very much. I can just see a whole line of parking bays heading away from me, heading behind me, and I can't actually see the one that I'm intending to get into. What do we see in the right mirror? And the answer to that is absolutely nothing useful whatsoever, because all of the parking bays I want are on the opposite side. So at the moment I can only get visual information from one mirror. It's much easier if we can get ourselves into a position where both mirrors provide us with valuable information. Now the ideal position for that is perpendicular to the parking bay you want. So I'm just going to shuffle myself into the parking bay to my right. Now if you look in the left and the right mirrors, we've now got useful information both sides, and I can see from where I've stopped the line for the parking bay on my left is slightly further away than the line for the parking bay on my right. So as I reverse, I need to steer very slightly to the left, and I'm going to come to a pause here. Now the left and the right mirrors are showing me that I am symmetrical. I've got equal distance to the white line on the left and the right. And I'm just having a look at my steering wheel, and that took me about a quarter of a turn. So all I'm going to do now is continue reversing. I'm going to do about a quarter of a turn the other way, and then bring my steering wheel straight again. Now I can tell from the front window that I am absolutely perpendicular to the parking bay. I can tell from the left and the right mirrors that I am equal distance both sides, or near enough. So that simply tells me that I now need to go in a straight line. And that's how I do a reverse bay park. Now, we were very fortunate on that attempt that we could drive into the parking bay that's almost opposite where we want. We won't always get that chance, but we've agreed from watching the video that if I'm at 90 degrees to the parking bay, only one mirror is useful, and it's not actually that useful, and the other mirror is completely useless. If I can get perpendicular, i.e. 0 degrees to the parking bay, then both mirrors are useful straight away. So what's the compromise there that we can do in the real world? Let's just drive around the car park again so that we can attack the same area that's not covered in snow. So this time, let's imagine that I want a parking bay on the left, but all of the parking bays on the right are full, or maybe that's a brick wall that we can't drive into the parking bay. So the next best option I've got is to swing to the right as much as I can. So full lock to the right, and I'm going to come to a stop before I hit the imaginary cars in these parking bays in front of me. And let's just have a look at what useful information we've got now. In the left mirror, I can very clearly see a parking bay that I can get into. The right mirror, I can see the parking bay next to my chosen one. Now I steered to the right. I now need to steer the opposite way, because otherwise I'll just end up where I came from. So swinging the other way, and I'm just checking the left and the right to see when the right mirror starts to become useful. And that's there. I can now see the white line for my chosen parking bay. Just there. I can see from the front window that I am now perpendicular to the parking bay, so I now need to make sure that I go in a straight line by unwinding the steering. And that's how we do reverse bay parking in the real world.